His hands gripped my thighs as he pushed deeper. I cried out, my nails digging into his shoulders. "Does it hurt?" he whispered against my neck. "A little," I gasped. "Do you want me to stop?" "No." I pulled him closer. "Don't stop." His breath was hot against my neck. My back pressed into the silk sheets, his body covering mine, heavy and warm and overwhelming. "Look at me," he commanded, his voice rough. I opened my eyes. His face was inches from mine, dark eyes burning into me, jaw clenched with restraint. "This is going to hurt," he said. "Tell me if you need me to stop." I nodded, unable to speak. He pushed into me slowly. The pain was sharp, immediate. I gasped, tears springing to my eyes. He froze. "Amara, don't stop." I grabbed his face, pulling him down to kiss me. "Please don't stop." He moved again. Slower this time. His eyes never leaving mine. The pain shifted. Dulled. Transformed into something else entirely. "Oh God," I moaned, my body arching beneath him. "You feel incredible." He groaned. His control slipping. So tight. So perfect. His rhythm increased. My legs wrapped around his waist, pulling him deeper. The sounds filling the room were obscene, primal, beautiful. "I can't," I gasped. "I'm going to," he whispered, his hands sliding between our bodies, touching me where we were joined. "Come for me," I shattered, my entire body convulsing, his name torn from my throat as pleasure ripped through me like lightning. He followed seconds later, his body tensing, a guttural groan escaping as he buried himself deep inside me one final time. We collapsed together, sweating, trembling, completely destroyed. That was the moment everything changed. That was the moment I got pregnant. Let me tell you how I ended up in that bed. If this story hooked you already, subscribe right now because it gets so much darker from here. 4 hours earlier, I stood outside the Roosevelt Grand Hotel in Gangnam, my stomach churning with nausea that had nothing to do with illness and everything to do with what I was about to do. Sell myself. I was 22, a medical student from Lagos. I'd come to Seoul on a scholarship 2 years ago, chasing the dream of becoming a doctor. But dreams cost money, and when my father got sick back home, when the bills started drowning us, when my scholarship got revoked because I failed one exam while working 3 jobs, I ran out of options. $5,000. That's what I needed for tuition. My roommate Keisha had told me about this place. Girls go there. Make arrangements with businessmen. Some walk out with enough for a whole semester. I'd said no. For 2 months, I'd said no. Then the eviction notice came. Then the email. Your visa will be revoked if tuition isn't paid by Friday. So, here I was. Friday night. Wearing a black dress from a thrift store. About to walk into that hotel and find a man willing to pay for my body. I wanted to throw up. Instead, I walked through the gold-trimmed doors. The bar was on the 2nd floor. Dark, intimate, expensive. Everyone there looked like they owned companies or countries. I sat at the bar, ordered water because alcohol cost more than my weekly food budget, and waited. 3 men approached within 10 minutes. The first smelled like cigarettes and offered $300 for whatever I wanted to do. No. The second was married, at least 60, and wanted me to meet him in the bathroom. Absolutely not. The third didn't even look at my face, just my chest. How much for the whole night? I like it rough. I stood up to leave. This was a mistake. I'd rather get deported then. Then he walked in. He was Korean. Late 20s maybe. Tall. Wearing a black suit that probably cost more than my entire year's rent. His face was sharp, beautiful, in that cold way some men are, like carved ice. But it was his eyes that stopped me. Dark. Empty. The eyes of someone who'd stopped feeling anything a long time ago. He sat at the bar, 3 seats from me, ordered whiskey, didn't look at his phone, didn't look at anyone, just stared at his glass like he was deciding something. Bad night? I heard myself say. He glanced at me. No smile, no warmth, just assessment. Something like that. Me too. He turned back to his drink. Conversation over. But then he said, "You're not Korean. Nigerian. Medical student." I paused. Technically, if I can afford to stay one. Money problems? Isn't it always? He took a long drink. Is that why you're here? Direct. Cold. No pretense. Yes. I admitted. No point lying. He studied me for a moment, then pulled out his phone, tapped something, and showed me the screen. A bank transfer interface. He typed in an amount. $10,000. $10,000, he said flatly. One night. My suite. We leave now. No negotiation. My heart hammered. For what? Whatever I want. The words should have terrified me. Instead, something about his bluntness, his coldness, made it easier. No pretending this was anything other than a transaction. Okay, I whispered. He stood. Follow me. The suite was on the top floor. Massive. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Seoul's skyline. He closed the door behind us, locked it. I stood frozen, my heart racing. He walked to the windows, loosening his tie. Take off your dress. No preamble, no seduction. Just command. My hands shook as I reached for the zipper. Wait, he said, turning to face me. Have you done this before? Sold myself? No, this is my first. That's not what I'm asking. His eyes narrowed. Have you had sex before? The question hung between us. No, I admitted quietly. I'm a virgin. His expression didn't change. Then, this stops now. What? Why? I don't sleep with virgins. He pulled out his phone again. I'll still transfer the money. But you leave. Now. No. I stepped forward. Please. I need this. I need you to. You don't know what you're asking. I know exactly what I'm asking. I reached behind me, unzipped my dress, let it fall to the floor. I'm asking you to take what I'm offering. I stood there in my cheap underwear, shaking, vulnerable, desperate. He stared at me. Last chance, he said roughly. Walk away, take the money and go. No. He crossed the room in 3 strides, grabbed my face, and kissed me. It wasn't gentle. It was hungry, possessive, almost angry. His hands gripped my waist, pulling me against him. I kissed him back just as desperately, my fingers fumbling with his shirt buttons. He lifted me suddenly, carrying me to the bed, laying me down with more care than his kiss had suggested. If it hurts too much, tell me, he said, his voice strained. I'll stop. Don't stop, I whispered. No matter what, don't stop. He undressed me slowly, each piece of clothing removed with precision. His eyes never left my body, dark and intense and hungry. When I was bare beneath him, he paused. You're beautiful, he said. The first soft thing he'd said all night. Then he undressed himself. I watched, my breath catching as more of his body was revealed. Lean, muscular, scars across his ribs. What happened? I touched the scars. Nothing that matters. He positioned himself between my legs. This will hurt. But then it won't. Trust me. I nodded. He entered me slowly, watching my face. The pain was immediate, sharp, overwhelming. I cried out, tears sliding down my temples. He stopped. Breathe. Just breathe. It hurts, I gasped. I know. He kissed my tears. I'm sorry. He moved again, Gentler this time. The pain gradually shifted, transforming into pressure, then friction, then something that felt good. Oh, I breathed, my body relaxing beneath him. Better? His voice was strained, his control clearly slipping. Yes. Don't stop. He didn't. What followed was the most intense experience of my life. He wasn't gentle, but he wasn't cruel. He took what he wanted, but he made sure I felt pleasure too. His hand between my legs, stroking me while he moved inside me. His mouth on my neck, my breasts, everywhere. His voice in my ear, rough and commanding. Touch yourself. Show me what you like. I did. My hand sliding down my own body, touching where we were joined, gasping at the sensation. That's it, he groaned. God, you're perfect. When I came, it was violent. My body seizing. A scream tearing from my throat, pleasure so intense it bordered on pain. He followed immediately, his body going rigid, his grip on my hips bruising as he emptied himself inside me. We lay there afterward, both of us breathing hard, covered in sweat. Then he rolled off me, walked to the bathroom without a word, and closed the door. When he came back, he handed me a towel. There's blood. You'll want to clean up. So cold, so detached, like the past hour hadn't happened. I took the towel, went to the bathroom, cleaned the blood from my thighs with shaking hands. When I came out, he was by the window again, dressed in pants, staring at the city. You should sleep, he said without turning. I paid for the whole night. The room is yours until checkout. You're not staying? No. Why not? He finally turned, his expression unreadable. Because if I stay, I'll want you again. And you've been through enough tonight. Something in his voice. Something almost tender. What's your name? I asked suddenly. Does it matter? I just gave you my virginity. Yes. It matters. He was quiet for a long moment. Then, June. June. I repeated. I'm Amara. I know. You told me at the bar. Will I see you again? No. Definitive. Final. This was one night. That's all. He walked to the dresser, pulled out an envelope, and set it on the bed. 10,000, as promised. Use it wisely. Then he walked out. I sat on that bed, naked, bleeding, alone, and felt more empty than I'd ever felt in my life. 3 months later, I threw up in the campus bathroom for the third time that week. Keisha slid a pregnancy test under the stall door. Take it, now. I did. 2 pink lines. Positive. No, I whispered, staring at it in horror. No, no, no. Amara, I'm pregnant. The words felt impossible. I'm pregnant from a one-night stand with a man whose name I barely know. June. That's all I had. A first name. Maybe not even his real one. How do you find someone in a city of 10 million people when all you have is a first name and a face you can't forget? I didn't know. So I hid it. For weeks, I hid the pregnancy, the morning sickness, the terror. I kept going to classes, kept pretending everything was fine. Until 4 months in, when my stomach started to show, when I had to buy bigger clothes, when I couldn't hide it anymore. I was walking through Gangnam to my part-time job when I saw it. The billboard. 50 feet tall. Right above the main intersection. His face, that face. The face I'd memorized in the darkness. The face I'd kissed. The face of the father of my child. And underneath his photo, Kang Min-Jun CO, Kang Industries' youngest billionaire in South Korea, Forbes 30 under 30. My vision blurred. My knees buckled. I collapsed on the sidewalk, people rushing past, staring. He wasn't just June. He was Kang Min-Jun, worth billions, one of the most powerful men in the country. And I was a broke medical student carrying his baby. I pulled out my phone with shaking hands, Googled his name. Articles filled my screen. Kang Min-Jun takes over father's empire at 28. The ice prince of Korean business. Most eligible bachelor in Seoul. And then I saw it. The article that made my blood freeze. Published yesterday. Breaking. Kang Min-Jun, engaged to Chairman Lee's daughter. Wedding set for December. There was a photo. Him in a suit, standing next to a beautiful Korean woman, both of them expressionless. The engagement had been announced 3 days ago. He was getting married, in 2 months, and I was 4 months pregnant with his baby. I sat on that sidewalk for an hour, staring at my phone, at his face on that billboard. At the announcement of his engagement, Keisha found me eventually, pulled me up, took me home. "What are you going to do?" she asked quietly. "I don't know." I placed my hand on my stomach, feeling the slight curve where our baby was growing. He's a billionaire. He's getting married. He probably doesn't even remember me. You have to tell him. How? I can't just walk up to a billionaire CEO and say, "Hey, remember that night 4 months ago?" Surprise, you're going to be a father. Then what? You raise the baby alone? I looked at my phone again, at his photo. Those cold, dead eyes that had looked at me with something almost like warmth for one single night. "I don't know," I whispered. "But I have to try. I have to find a way to tell him." What I didn't know? He'd been searching for me too. For 4 months, he'd been trying to find the woman who'd disappeared from his bed that morning. The woman who'd made him feel something for the first time in years. The woman whose name he couldn't forget. Amara. Subscribe right now because part 2 is going to wreck you emotionally. What happens when I finally reach him? When I tell him I'm pregnant? When he finds out about the baby days before his wedding? Hit that like button. Comment. Should I tell him? Or disappear and raise this baby alone? Part 2 drops tomorrow. And I promise you're not ready. This story is far from over.